Hello everybody and welcome back to Allods Online. Today is the first episode of our new series. As I've said before, I don't count the first tutorial area thing as part of the game, so it's not part of my normal series. It's not part of the number, like the level and such. I plan to do a video every 2 levels for this game, unlike on, which is 3. These first 10 levels don't count though. The first city area I'll just do probably randomly as I see fit, and most likely the instance as well. As per usual, there are exceptions like instances, whatever, whatnot, PvP, stuff like that. Anyway, to keep the theme with my last topic, I think I should talk about kind of like a set topic each time. At least it gives me something to talk about to the point where I'm not like going like, yeah, like at least gives me something that I can say. So anyway, the first one was about, or my first topic for today was about fighting, and since it's a violent game, I figured it would fit the topic. I got one story from my past. It's not really that much of a fight, but I thought I'd go on to it just because. My opinion on fighting, this was another thing me and Steven were talking about today as like one of our conversation topics, so it came up. Fighting, I think it's sometimes necessary, but it shouldn't be done. Having these big group fights aren't necessarily the best way to do things. But, I mean, if you're going fist on fist, one-on-one, in an agreed fight, you're never in really any danger. It's not like you're going to die. The worst that could happen is you get beat up. And as long as you know your opponent's, like, somewhat honorable, you shouldn't really... I don't think it's anything to get worked up over. But not a fan of weapons. Like, I do not like weapons. I don't like people who use weapons. And I also don't like big fights because those are when you get sucker punched. And those are when it gets dangerous. So, I mean, there's a way to safely fight, still get your anger out, settle your differences without murdering each other. So that's how I like to think of it. And if you're watching this video by now and you've seen my last two with my different opinions on things, you've probably noticed that I have a bit more lax opinion on things. I don't tend to worry as much. Like with the whole conversation of gold selling in the last video, I said it was okay, like personally, so I guess it's kind of... I'm just not... I like it when people follow the rules, but I think that some rules need to be changed so that they're more realistic. Like having people not buy gold. I mean, as long as it's legitimately obtained gold, I don't really care. They can do whatever they want with it. Same with fighting. As long as it's fair and no one's really going to get hurt or like injury wise or hospital wise, as long as no one's getting hurt, it's all good for me. Anyway, that brings me to my one story. It's not much of a fight, but it was pretty intense at the moment there. I was in grade 8. It wasn't that big of a deal. But pretty much someone made a racist comment against a large majority of Canada, looking at Asia. And that caused a lot of people in the school to get angry, right? Like, being in Canada, we have a lot of immigration. Like, I'm probably I'm white, like, I'm Caucasian, that's my racial background. I'm German. It's who I am, you can't change it. I'm probably about the 20% half of the school. And you think that's weird because, I mean, in the country, it's kind of like, I'm not going to say our country, but like it's owned by Britain, not every other country in the world. So you'd expect that there'd be like a large population, but there isn't. It's quite diversified. I'm not saying that's a problem. I'm not saying that's bad in any way at all. But you'll understand why there's a lot of racial fights in my school, or was, because of that. So anyway, someone said a particular comment. He was a friend of mine. And that caused about 15 of the offended group to think it would be a good idea to go and jump them, like beat them up. Because that's what you do when you have a problem with someone, right? There's no logical way to deal with it. Sarcasm. So I was kind of worried about him. I mean, the people that were... I mean, this guy, he's probably heavier than me, and I weigh 155. So he's probably good, like 170, 6 feet tall. He was not that tall back then, but he's a big guy. He's a lot larger than I am, and a lot larger than any of the people that were attacking him. So I didn't think he'd actually get hurt. Like, I mean, half the people that were planning on jumping him haven't even started their puberty spurt yet. So I was kind of like, just bruise a couple of them up and then they'll leave him alone. Like, that was, so I was going to leave him by himself. And then my friend suggested, like, we should go help him. And then I didn't really want to, because I'm not a fighter, but then, it kind of had to. And anyway, it turned out there wasn't that much fighting going on. One kid got, like, hit in the nose. It wasn't even, they all showed up, and then no one wanted to start anything, and it was about 4 of us against 15 of them, but we were probably quite a bit bigger. But no one really knew what they were doing, because no one really wanted to fight. I mean, we all knew each other, too. Like, we knew people on the other side. Nobody wants to go up and hit the other guy. So one guy ran up, and he, like, bumped into one of my friends, and he got thrown down, and I threw one punch, and then they gave up, and they were like, oh, let's not fight. And I mean, we were pretty scared because it was 4 of us, and then it was like, oh, don't fight, it's okay, and stuff like that. Because we were all friends, like, we didn't want to hurt each other either, that's the thing. It kind of made it difficult to, like, you can't just go up and hit your friend. Anyway, we worked that out. Surprisingly, for those of you wondering, like, the school did nothing. Like, we did alert the school, and nothing. They did absolutely nothing. They said it's off school grounds, can't do a crap about it. So that made me pretty mad, actually. I went and written a complaint to that as well. But that's not the point of the video. Anyway, that's my little personal story. It's not that interesting. It's actually a pretty crappy fight. But, I mean, I didn't want to fight. I wasn't in, like, getting ready to go. It was just kind of a show up and help your friend kind of thing. I didn't even know what I would have done had the fight started, and they probably could have taken us because there was only 4 of us, but I'm glad that they didn't think they could, because underconfidence is a large part of failure. That doesn't mean overconfidence makes you succeed, by the way. That's not what I mean. Anyway, this video is coming to a close. I finished the tutorial. So, as you know, every second level I will upload a video, except in these first 10. And thanks for watching. If you liked it, please drop a like, subscribe, and if you didn't, you can tell me why in the comments. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.